Good morning, everyone. Hello, everyone. Do you hear me?
Yes, ครับ
Okay,
Good
thank
morning.
you. How is the sound? Is my sound is okay or is break up?
For me, I think it's fine ครับ
Okay, thank you ครับปิดซิน
ครับ
Okay then. Right. Okay then. Good morning, everyone. Okay, so welcome back to our class for the interaction design. So on last class, we finished on module 1 or the introduction to on the interaction design and system information system analysis and design already. So today, okay, I would like some of you to just like do the presentation, okay. But actually, it's just like a short presentation is enough. We will start with the first case that we got, that is global hotels and mama motels first. Okay. So let me do like this. I will let the first team that I called to just like hang on actually to just like talk about this case a bit. Okay, talk about this business case a bit. That means I want you to just like help me just like tell or share the information of this case that you read before. Okay, what is it about? Okay, and then the next team, sorry, and then your team just tell us, just share to us that, okay, what is the solution? What should you do with this case? Okay, what should you do with this case? Thank you, Pornkamon, Napat, and Archer, okay, for answering my questions. Okay, then. Okay, let's start with the first one, okay, for global hotels and Mama's hotel, because not every team work on this one. So that's why we need to have someone to help just like summarize for this business case. Okay. So Christine's team, do you do on this case, right?
Yes, ครับ
Okay. Christine and your team, could you please help us to just like talk about this case a bit? What is it about and what is your solution? What is your recommendation? Yeah. You can help each other.
So to summarize the case, it's basically that one big company is buying small businesses, and that small business has its own built-in system already. But the question is asking is whether to change and to incorporate with a bigger system or just keep using its in-house small system.
So which hotel, which company is a big one? Which company is bought?
The big one would be Global Hotels. The smaller one would be Mama's regional chain.
Okay. Yeah. So what is your recommendation? What is your team recommendation?
All of us agree that we should integrate with the bigger system. Our
Wow.
reasoning is that we could use that bigger connection to help strategize and control users by maybe including promotions and controlling the flow of the networks.
What about like
And if
yeah. Go on, Asher.
And if for some reason the bigger networks happens to fail, we could always still have the old system as a legacy, as a backup.
Okay. As a backup, right? So
Yeah.
that means your team suggests to run the global hotels big network system as the front end, right?
Yes.
And we still have the old system, the legacy system of Mama Hotel as the backup.
Yes.
Okay, right. Okay, then thank you for the first team. Okay, now what about your team? Group 2, Nakarin's group. For Nakarin's and also Pariwat and Naran, do you do this case?
Okay. Yeah. We are doing this.
Yes. Okay, please suggest us what should we do.
Like initially we thought that we also need to look at other information first, like how's the demand and how much revenue it is, so that we can like incorporate whether to like move to a large scale system, because some of the large scale system functionality is useless for like a small to medium business. So it could bring some like inconvenience in like user experience and other unnecessary resources for those like functionality. And also like the data between two systems might not be compatible. So there are also like issue of like data migration and a lot of time will be wasted on like integrating the system rather than focusing on the business operation.
Okay. Okay, so for your team, you think that you should just like do some survey first, right? Before you make a decision.
Yeah. So if the demand is large, we can move to like the larger system. But if the demand is like so small, we can just stick with the small scale, the original system first.
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Then we move on to the next team. Group 3, James, Pai, and Chiathon. What is your team's idea? What is your team's recommendation?
So we were discussing yesterday that we didn't actually come to a conclusion, but we were talking along the lines of we shouldn't integrate with the big business just because it might be overkill for a small business like the motel. So yeah, that's what we thought.
Right. So in this one, that means you insist to use the old system, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay then. Thank you for the third group. Okay. So the next one, we move on the next group. Group 4, that is the group of Thantita, Sujina, Philip, and Napat. Did you do this case as well, or did you do the another case?
Yes, we did this case as well.
Okay. Yes. Okay, then could you please tell us what you think? What is your recommendation?
Okay, we were discussing, and we think that the Mama Hotel, as in smaller, they have the smaller system that covers local place in Canada. They should change the system to be compatible with the global hotel, because in order to transfer information between two systems, it wouldn't be so difficult. That's our goal, to just minimize the cost and difficulties when transferring information. Imagine if you want to reserve a hotel from outside Canada, but it's gonna take longer time than when you reserve at the place. because it's a two different system, they have to change something before, getting into Mama's system.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. So you can see that when we talk about like the same case, but different groups or different team has different ideas. Okay. So I can't tell you which way or which recommendation is the best. The reason is because just the information from the case like this, okay, that we have is still not enough. The thing that we have to do is that we have to just like collect more information before you make a decision. And also, even you say that, okay, you just like run this, the solution in this way, okay, and if we found that there is not suitable later, you may just like discuss. If you just like run it halfway already, you can't just say that, okay, we just like we start doing it, because normally for your for your customers, they might not be okay. But like before you start doing any information systems development, make sure that you study everything already, and you can defend to them that this is the best way at that moment that you propose to them. Okay. Now let's move on to the next case. The next case is about like what should Lisa do. Okay. So the first thing that I will do is that I will let the first team, okay, to help summarizing this case for like the whole class first, and give us the idea what to do. Okay. So in this one, okay, let me share the screen first. For this case, okay, okay, group 5, okay, that are Taspir, Kantinan, Rin, and Griengsak. Can you please like talk about this case, summarize this case, please, and then give your recommendation to everyone. Thank you.
Hi, Atan. So we did the case about Lisa.
Yes.
Yeah, and
what is it about?
So like she has to choose between two job offers. One is basically from a manufacturer, and like she would work alone, like handle the whole IT department. But the other one is in Detroit, and like it's like already established, but then there are rumors that they're gonna like lay off some people, and like something can happen at any time. So the question was, what should Lisa do? So we thought that like she should choose the Detroit one, like which pays an extra $7,500 as well, because like even though the rumor, like she has experience and she would like not have to handle the whole IT department herself, like she would in Ohio. So yeah, around that.
Yeah. Okay then. Thank you. What about the another team's idea for group 6? Malin, Vorapop, and Grid. Okay, what do you think about like Lisa? What should she do and why?
We choose the first one.
What is the first one? Please explain to you.
To stay in the small company.
Why?
Because if the company grow, we can be one of the founder of the company and might get the higher salary than the bigger company.
Right. So
like and also in COVID situation. Yeah. It seemed like we relied on the big company relied on too many workers, so we might get kicked out. I think so.
Okay. Right. Okay. Thank you. You just like have a good planning. That's good. Thank you. What about your group? What do you think? Atiwat, Sahasawat, and Rin Radikon.
So, shall I? Okay, so shall I start, guys? Okay, I'll just start then.
Yeah.
So, for this one, so like before, there are two jobs between Pembroke Road, which is a smaller company in Ohio, and Albemarle Express in Detroit. The one thing that I'm thinking, that we thought at first is that first off, for the pay, the one in the city is going to pay more. It's $7,000 annually. But then, I'm also not sure. But the thing is, we also have to factor in the cost of living in two different locations as well. And I suppose it wouldn't really make a lot of difference because of the if you assume that this would be a high paying job, if it's like a six-figure job or something as well, then yeah, it's probably also better to look at the other factors as well. So yeah, for the first company, I feel like it's also a bit of a long-term job that if you were able to persevere, it could pay off a lot because she would be the first member of the IT department. So over time, if the IT department were to grow and the company were to grow, she would likely going to have the executive position or some really high ranking position. Um, but during the first time, she would have to have a lot of responsibilities and do a lot of jobs, which is probably going to be good if Lisa is an experienced, someone experienced in the field of IT. But since we're not given that information, I can't really make that judgment. For the second one, I feel like it would be a little more safer because, well, not safer, but a little more of a benefit because even if there's a rumor that the company might get acquired, it doesn't necessarily mean that she will lose her job. Because first thing is that when she signs a contract with the company, I believe that most of the time there are designated contracts for when she could be laid off or how many years she have to work with the company. So it's not like after you get acquired, she immediately gets fired the next day. And even if the contract time runs out, it doesn't guarantee as well that she's going to be fired. Furthermore, this company is also a nationwide company. So even if she did get laid off because of the company restructuring, she can still use the experience with this company and the name of working with this company to find another job. Because job hopping is also a pretty common thing in the US as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would actually be also pretty good for her in the long run. And yeah, it's just something like that. You got anything else to add, guys?
Not at the moment, Atiwat, but you just like give some criticizing about like this case very good. So you just like have like lots of information to just like share to other people as well. This is great because whenever you have to just like do the project for your customer, one thing that you have to do is that you just try to have to find the information to just like tell them and to share to them so that they may have like many choices in order to choose, because you have to know that the one who will choose is not you, it's the customers themselves. It's the customers themselves. Your responsibility is to propose the idea to them and try to find out which way is the best one in your point of view. For example, you have plan A, plan B, plan C, and plan D. And you say that, okay, plan A for our team, I think that it's the best. And then after that, if you say that, okay, when plan A is the best, okay, what about like cons or disadvantages of plan B, C, and D? Okay, so your customers will make a decision. Maybe they say that I think plan A is good, but we think that plan B is better, something like that, because it's their money, so they will make a decision by themselves but we propose the best thing to them. Okay. Okay, thanks every team to just like sharing your ideas to this case. Right now, okay, we talk about like the group case study, the end of the module case about what's the buzz on smart grid case study. Let's do like this. Okay. For this case study, okay, I want one team to summarize. I want one team to summarize this case. And then I'll ask every team for the answer for the case study question. Okay, right. Okay. So, can team 2 help summarizing this case for us? So team 2 is Nakarin's team. Okay, Nakarin's team, could you please like summarize this case for all of us? For the big case study like this, my suggestion is that you may open up your document that you submitted to me and share it on the screen so that everyone can see, and then you can just use that one as a media for presentation as well. Okay, let me just like yeah. Now I just like put the share to be enabled, so you can just share your screen to all of us.
Just an answer for the case study, right?
No. Your team. I asked you to summarize the case.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just summarize, please. Can you please show your document on the screen so that I can just like see together with other classmates? You.
Okay.
So I guess you missed the part of summary.
Oh yeah, we have that in a separate document.
Okay, yeah, just bring that summary up.
Can you guys see the screen?
Yes, very good. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the report is about using like smart grid technology in United States. So the argument is that the current infrastructure is outdated because like there's no way of knowing how like the customer use electricity, and there's no information on that to like improve the efficiency of like electricity. So they start to introduce like a smart grid technology. Basically, they provide the same usual electricity, provide the same power, but they have additional digital technology like integrated in them. And the advantage of this is that it saves energy, it reduces costs, increase reliability, and also like shows transparency how like energy is being used, and also the price of the electricity. And it allows information to flow between like the electricity power provider and like individual households. As a result, those energy companies could make like intelligent decisions based on information of like energy usage, like raising price when demand is high for electricity, or lowering price when the demand is low. So there's also other functionalities such as allowing users to program their electricity appliance at home, like heating or air conditioning automatically. So like it could help reduce consumption in an automated way. So if it's implemented in nationwide scale, it can cause a 5 to 15% reduce in energy consumption. And they are sized to meet like maximum electricity need for like the whole nation. Other advantage includes it can detect source of power outage more quickly in like individual household level, and it is able to respond to service problems more rapidly and efficiently than the normal grid power. Implementing smart grid requires like several technology. One of them is like network and switch for power management, sensor and monitoring device for like tracking energy usage, and also like system to provide energy suppliers to customer with data, communication system, and also like systems link between like programmable home appliance, like those air conditioning, heating system, etc. Yeah, so like also apart from like reducing costs, it could also like distribute power from other untraditional sources, such as flowing from home and business. Instead of like flowing energy from like a single source like power plant, it allows like energy to distribute between like individual households too. So allowing power from like local and faraway source. And in terms of job incentives, it could also create up to like more than 300,000 of jobs. Okay. Yeah. Also, like they also list a bunch of big companies that's already planning and implementing this smart power grid system, and they list a bunch of like advantage, disadvantage, and it's quite a bit long, so I want to skip a bit. So there's like large energy company like Duke Energy, Powerlight, and also Google implementing a free web service to track energy use from smart grid.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good job for your summary. That's great. I like it. Okay. So now, okay, the next thing that we'll do is to just like answer the questions at the end of this case. Okay, as all of you have like seen the document about like the question for this case, we have 5 questions altogether. I'll do like this. Okay, I'll tell you the plan first so that you know it's your cue. Okay, so as we have altogether 5 questions. Question 1 will be answered by team 3. Question 2 is by team 4. Okay, team 3 is, sorry, let me just like tell you who. Question 1 will be answered by James, Pai, and Chiathorn's team. Okay. Question 2 will be answered by Tantita's team. Question 3 will be answered by Taspia's team. Okay. Also, the question 4 will be answered by Maylin's team. Okay. And question 5.
John,
Yes.
one of my teammates is missing. Team 6.
Okay, let me just finish first.
Okay.
Hang on. Question number, the last question number will be answered by Atiwat's team. Okay. Team 6. Who is missing? Pete is missing, right? Pete, what is your first name? I don't see it in the list.
It's Pete. Huh.
I'm sorry.
My first name is Pete.
Your first name is Pete?
But my nickname is Fang, Phang.
Oh, that's why I don't see you. It's still like, if you see it's still floating without any team. You are team 6, right? Okay.
Thank you.
And you're welcome, Luis. What is your team now?
I've joined James' team.
James team, you mean team
That's
3,
teams
right?
3, yes.
Okay. Okay, then everyone has a team already. That's good. So, okay, we do like this. Okay. So the things that I want each team to do is that when you just like present, you say that, okay, for example, team 3, you say that question 1, then you read the question as well. How do smart grids differ from current electricity infrastructure in the US? And then you just answer. Okay, we do like this. Okay. So right now, okay, team 3, please start your presentation. Your question number 1 and its answer. So while you are presenting, you may just like share your screen so that you and also other classmates can see the answer as well.
Okay, I'll do it then.
If you just like show your screen to us, please.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so question 1 is, how do smart grids differ from the current electricity infrastructure in the US? So I say that first things first, the existing infrastructures don't monitor usage information from consumers. They're quite old-fashioned, so it makes the system very inefficient. Compared to a century ago when electricity was developed for simple needs and modern lifestyles, but modern lifestyles have increased demands for power usage. And so such levels of demand can put heavy strain on these outdated, inefficient grids. So with smart grids, digital technology takes the spotlight, using the power of information to help both consumers and suppliers make informed decision about power consumption and efficiency, and in the end, cost.
Okay. Okay, thank you, group 3. Then move on to group 4, please, for question number 2.
Okay. For question number 2, right? Well, I didn't see the question. Okay, the question number 2. What management, organization, and technology issues should be considered when developing a smart grid? Right. So our answer is that I think the challenge they are facing is the many problems they are facing are usually about the like, okay, first thing, the interface of the smart dashboard that, oh wait, okay, the interface of the smart dashboard that tracks the household's power usage is too complicated and high tech for many individual. Should I share the screen? Yeah. Like when it's too confusing and complicated for many people that a lot of people in that they need to since the entire city an entire city has to convert into the same system, the instruction of the dashboard shouldn't be too complicated. It has to be, but since it's like a startup, so maybe it's okay. And another problem they're facing is that the price that most customers are not willing to buy for. Are not willing to pay for the system because the price of installation is not affordable for everyone. But the same thing, the same problem, the same gimmick is that the smart grid system needs the entire city to change into one identical system. So that entire city has to agree on changing it, and the price has to be available for everyone in the city. That's our answer.
Okay, thank you for your answer, team 4. Then move on to team 5. Question 3, please.
Yes, and I'll be presenting question 3. So, well, sorry, I'm so waiting for my teammate to present the screen. Right. So, question 3 is, what challenge to development of smart grids do you think is most likely to hamper the development? So, as stated in the document, it's implementing smart grid would need it sound intimidating because you have to implement that everywhere, and so it's gonna take a lot of work to do that if ever implementable. And then also the user interface is really hard because we have many age groups of the population, so it has to be user friendly to all of age ranges. You know, like when people are a bit in higher age, they probably won't be that comfortable with managing their usage through an application. So it has to be very simple yet efficient. And that's going to be really challenging to software developer because we are still bound to technologies. So we just need to rewind back to how those people would be able to use it easily. And also, smart grid is really expensive. I think that's really important because it could cost maybe $500, and that's a lot of money. And who is really going to be willing to pay if they don't have enough money to spare? I think that's one of the most thing that could hamper. It's really expensive. And the next thing is, I think, well, in a document it says that the company, the energy suppliers might not really want to cooperate with, because when you do that, it means that they can also monitor their usage and cut out unnecessary electricity usage, so that the company would lose more profits. So they might not be willing to cooperate with that project. And also, it could give rise to some privacy implications, like, you know, being like your usage is disclosed to the public or to the company. I don't know, like maybe they aren't that comfortable sharing those data. So I think that's what I should say for this question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you team 5. Okay, now let's move on. Question number 4 by team 6, please.
Do I have to share screen?
If possible, please share.
Give me a moment.
So for the rest of you, while we are waiting for all the presentation to be finished, please download your handout of module 2, because we have to use it after the last question is answered. Thank you.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. In our team, we think one area that can benefit from smart technology is a congestion system. The traffic system can be analyzed and control the flow of vehicle and the street. We imagine if we know where to go, and that place where we're gonna go, how much traffic we're gonna face, and how to avoid that congestion. The system can also take over crucial aspects such as traffic light system in order to control the flow of traffic without the congestion as much as possible. This is our idea to apply the smart technologies.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for Team 6. Okay, now we come to the last question. Question number 5 by Team 7.
Okay, so share screen.
Yes, please.
Okay, so okay, I'll start then. Okay, you guys add in if I miss anything. So for this one, basically we think that if we want to consider whether we want to install this in our community or not, we need to also take a look at whether it will be suitable for the area that we live in, that is specifically in Thailand or not. And the way we think about this is that for smart grid, since it provides things like more efficient energy consumption and information to suppliers through programmable appliances and everything, I think that it would be more beneficial in urban areas of Thailand. So maybe if we live in Bangkok or in very highly urbanized area, maybe in Siam or all these places where there's a lot of high rises and malls and everywhere, because those are the places that use a lot of electricity. But on the other hand, if we are taking a look at the very rural areas, maybe outside of Bangkok, in this case, then we don't think that it would really be worth it to have this whole system that because this basically when you want to install it, you need to have a lot of money if you want to install it, and the cost of that, it could save more energy in the long run. But in the more rural areas, it's not really going to be worth it, I imagine. A lot of people would rather spend those money for other things like more development or more equipment on farming, or just different other things, and more appliances that save energy in the long run. I can imagine that it would be very beneficial for them. Well, it would be for places in urban areas because of they use a lot of electricity. But yeah, the general idea is that it depends on the area and how developed they are, whether we want to install them in our community and whether it's going to be suitable for our community or not. Anything else to add, guys? Okay, I guess that is it then.
Okay. Anyone would like to add on anything on this answer? Okay. Then if no, thank you for Team 7 for your answer of the case question. Okay. So right now we are going to start talking about like the first step in the information system analysis and design. Okay. So let's talk about the handout of the module 2, that is to analyze the business case. Okay. Right.
ไม่ต้องหาแล้ว
Okay, now everyone please just like use the handout that I just recently uploaded. Not recently uploaded, I uploaded since last week. Hang on. Let me just like set up the slideshow first. Class, do you hear me clearly? Hello, everyone. Do you hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Pon Kamon. Okay, right. let me just like share the slide to you. Okay, right now, okay, we are talking about analyzing the business case. In this module, what do I want you to know? Okay, actually, in this module, I would like you to explain the concept of a business case, okay, and how a business case affects an IT project. So you can see that when we talk about like the previous modules case, okay, I just like use some terms like the business case, the case, something like that. In this module, I'll explain when we have to use a business case, how that kind of information should be like. Okay. Describe the next thing I would like you to be able to describe strategic planning process and why it's important to the IT team. Okay, because this one, okay, it needs a lot of critical thinking. So there will come up the strategy, okay, that you have to do with the business case or the IT project, and you should be able to prepare and conduct the analysis. That is what we call SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis, SWOT. Okay, I'll just like talk about it in detail when we reach that part. Okay, just won't be long. Let me see. There's somebody waiting or not. Okay, no. Okay, go on. And also, I would like you to be able to explain purpose of mission statement, of the mission statement. Also, explain how SDLC, okay, system development lifecycle, serves as a framework for system development. Also list the reasons for system projects and the factors that may affect that project. And I would like you to be able to describe system requests and the role of the systems review committee. Okay. You should be able to also define operational, technical, economic, and schedule feasibility and describe steps and the end product or deliverable of preliminary investigation. Also, when we talk about like this module, in order to analyze the business case, okay, the business case, it means or it refers to reasons or justification for a proposal. What proposal? Proposal in here means that a document that you propose your customer, what are you going to do for them to develop what kind of IT project for them, okay, for solving what solution, okay, why you choose this one. Okay. So a strong business case. A strong business case suggests that the company should pursue the alternative above other options. As I told you earlier, you may have plan A or choice A, choice B, choice C, choice D, and you propose choice A as a strong business case suggests. Okay, then you suggest to your customer that, hey, our team, as we are the expert in, let's say, we are the expert in e-commerce, we suggest that you should have the cloud hosting, and then you should have like the cloud-based information system instead of setting up your own server or something like that. That is strong business case. Okay, above other options, okay, because it would be the firm's best interest to do so. So that means you have to just like explain pros and cons, and also in terms of benefits and costs that the company has to pay. Okay, and also when we talk about the system development, it typically starts with system requests, okay, followed by preliminary investigation, which includes feasibility study inside the preliminary investigation itself. Okay, so in order to just like conduct the system development, okay, we need to have the strategic planning as well. How do we gonna do the strategic planning? For some of you who just like who are just like second year, third year students, you may take some subjects in BBA already. okay, or you may just like take some subjects that talk about the concept of SWOT analysis. Okay. SWOT analysis is a kind of the things that we do for the strategic planning of the IT project. This won't be long. Somebody seems to just like send me some message. Sorry. Pon Kamon haven't taken. No problem. Okay, I'll teach you in this class. Don't worry. Okay. Right. For this one, what is the SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis come from 4 words: S, W, O, and T. Okay, they are abbreviation from 4 words. S is strength. W is weaknesses. O is opportunity. And T is threat. Okay. So in this one, we'll talk about in the very detail, and I'll let you have the hands-on experience about preparing the SWOT analysis as well in this class. But let's see the basic ideas for these tool first for SWOT analysis. Normally, every company, when they have to just like do any new projects, or when they just like want to go for some direction of the company, they always have the SWOT analysis to see which direction that they may do. Okay. For example, suppose a company would like to talk about their current information system that they have. It might be a small legacy system that they have. Okay. They would like to see pros and cons. Apart from just pros and cons, another thing that they have to think is about like the internal factors and external factors as well. Okay. In terms of pros or advantages of, let's say I'm talking about like a small legacy system as a system that I'm thinking whether we should have a new one or not. Then we have to think of the good side and bad side internally and externally. First, we talk about strength. Strength is the advantage for that system or for that thing internally or inside. And then also when I say that it's internally means that you can control it. If it is externally or outside, it means that something that happened and you cannot control. Okay. For example, when we talk about strength of current information system, excellent web design staff, low system analyst turnover, recently upgraded network. These are like the advantage or good point of this current system internally we can control. For example, web design staff is our staff, we can control them. Low system analyst turnover, that means, okay, the system analyst, okay, will be change their position or change to do another job. It depends on you. Okay, it's internal part, it's strength because low system analyst turnover. Recently upgraded network, your network is quite new. Okay, that is internal as well, and it's your strength. That is internal part. But what about the W? W is the disadvantages or weaknesses that is outside or externally. You can't control it. For example, you can control. Strengths and weakness, they are internal and you can control them. For weaknesses, it's the disadvantages of the system that you can control. The first one, still using several legacy systems. For example, you may ask that, what do we mean by we can control it? So it's in your company. If you say that there are several legacy systems, why don't you just like close some system or finish some system and use just one system only? You can do if you have budget. Okay, it's internal controllable stuff. Budget increase was turned down. Okay, it's internal as well because it's your company budget. Documentation needs updating. Okay, these are weaknesses or disadvantages in your company, in this project or is in this current information system. Now we talk about SW that are internal side already. Now we talk about external side, O and T. O is opportunities. It's the advantages over other system, over other company for this kind of similar system, something like that. Like well positioned for expansion. Can be first with new software. High potential for B2B growth. That one is an external factor and you can't control it. Some kind of system or some kind of website is popular. Popular, you can't control the popularity because your customers will make a decision whether they would use your platform or not, something like that. While threats, they are the disadvantages externally that we cannot control. For example, the first one, aggressive new web competition, impact of new FCC rules, like the rules and regulation in the States, okay, in order to just like design or doing some information system or the software or the hardware, okay. And other firms offer better benefits. This one you can't control, and it's a threat. Okay, so these are SWOT analysis that when we have to just like analyze for anything, okay, especially for business part, for example. Okay. I'm not sure I'm too late or not. Atiwat, you can rejoin if you want. You just like leave the room first and come back again if you would like to hear anything, and you may restart your computer if you want. Okay, now we come back. So when we want to do anything, I mean to make a decision or for analysis, SWOT analysis must be done first. And after that, when we have to talk about like the SWOT analysis like this, okay, now we talk about the strategic planning of the next thing. Okay, when we talk about strategic planning, okay, it's the framework. When you see a framework for IT system development, okay, they come with like this kind of diagram. Okay, so when you have the strategic plan, okay, when we set up the strategic plans already, we just like try to just like make them or transform them to be the business results. For the strategic plan to business result, we need to know or we need to have mission statement. We need to have stakeholders. We need to have goals. Why do we have to do that? And objectives. Okay, so you can see that in this one. If you see that, okay, for the SWOT analysis, we think of the purpose of having the system, vision of the organization, values of the system if we have it. Okay, then that comes to have, you just like design your mission statement. What are we going to do? Okay, after that, we set up goals and objectives. Okay, that comes to the business results, and also it just like affected to different stakeholders of the company. In order to just like accomplish the goals and objectives to have the business results, you may need to just like use the IT resources, human resources, financial resources, as well as the other resources, okay, in order to get or accomplish the goal to have the business result. So when we have to just like think of the strategic planning, another tool that we may have to use is a case tool. Okay. So if you are a system analyst, okay, you research the visible analyst case tool. The things that we may have to do is that planning statements, okay, that you may include assumptions, goals, objectives, critical success factor, and many other types of statements in order to choose the case tool. Okay. So in this one, let's think if you want to buy something, for example, if you say that you plan to buy a new computer for the company. So you have to think first, okay, what kind of computer will we buy? Should it be PC or should it be desktop? Or should it be laptop computer? Okay, for whom? Okay, and if we just, for example, if you say that, okay, you have an accountant, okay, you have an accountant and you would like to buy a new computer for her, okay, so if one of you say that, okay, we should buy MacBook Pro 16 inches for the accountant. Okay. So that might be one choice, but when you just like make a decision or when you suggest that idea, okay, what is the goal? You may say that, oh, because when we use the MacBook Pro, okay, you can the accountant can do her work faster. Okay, you choose 16 inches screen because for the accountant jobs there are a lot of numbers and figures, and she has to just like deal with a lot of numbers, so that's why you use big screen. But anyway, what is critical success factors? The critical success factors is the factors that makes your decision to be success or not, to become success or not, the goal can be accomplished or not. You may say that, okay, everything is good, your idea is fine, but the problem is that, is it too expensive? What about just like we buy a desktop computer with Core i3 CPU on the, let's say, 26 inches screen for an accountant? It might be better in this case. Okay, so you have to think of a lot of things. Okay, a case 2 in this case as an example as well. If you would like to choose a case 2, okay, which one is the best one? You have to just like think of the assumption, goals, objectives, critical success factors, and also other type of statements for choosing a best or a good enough case 2 for your team, something like that. After that, what is the next thing that we have to do? We have to know about the strategic planning more. Okay. The role of IT department in project evaluation is important as well. Okay. Because actually, when you have IT department to involve, okay, with the project, normally at the end of the project or while you are having the project running for like halfway, okay, normally the project must be evaluated as well, whether it's worth enough to just like continue or whether you should just like stop that project, something like that, or whether the project should be support more. So you have to know that management, leadership, and information technology, they are linked closely, and remarkable changes have occurred in both areas. Okay, so you have to know that when we do the system development, it's not just team-oriented. But anyway, you have to know that team-oriented development is the norm. Some companies see the role of IT department as a gatekeeper as well, because when we have IT department of a company involved in that project, they can involve in many roles. Sometimes they might be just a gatekeeper or supporter, because I mean like for other people in the project, they may not know much about technology, or sometimes you hire some company outside in order to just like help to do the IT development, the system development for the company, while you have IT department inside. You can see that for the IT department of the company, it doesn't mean that IT department has to do everything about IT. For example, let's think of MUIC. You can see that we have IT department, right? Okay, and then there are staff inside. Okay. Normally, if we say that, okay, we would like to have computer science lab, and we would need to have like, let's say, at least 30 LAN ports in there. Okay. 30, 40 LAN ports in there. Normally, we don't use our IT staff to lay the LAN cable and to install the LAN port inside the computer science lab by themselves. Okay. If you ask me that, can they do that? Actually, they can do. But for 40 of them, we should hire someone who is the expert in the LAN cabling to do it better. Same as the IT system development. if the IT, if the information system is too big or is so big, and we don't have enough staff to do so, okay, you may have to just send the representative of the IT department as a supporter of the team, while the leading ones or the real development team is like from the company outside. It depends on your company's size and company's policy as well. What are we going to do? Sometimes even the company is large, but we might still just like hire the consultant outside and system analyst outside in order to just like develop this system for us, and then we send the IT staff, okay, to study for what these people do. Okay. After that, for the future, if you could look into the future, here is what you might see. Okay, new industries that might just like happen every day. Okay, products and services emerging from amazing advance in information technology. For example, right now, you can see that there are like new technologies coming at the same time of 5G technology. For example, for the medical doctors, they can have remote operations for the like the outreach hospital, something like that. You may say that, okay, we may have to set up the information system in the outreach hospital where they don't really have like the surgeon inside the hospital, but you have to set up the facilities so that the doctor or the surgeons from remote sites can log in, and then they can just like do the surgery over 5G signal. Apart from that example, you may see like we talk about the driverless car, okay, that can just like drive by itself and can be controlled over 5G as well. Okay, these are just like the advanced information technology that just coming. Okay, and customers who expect world-class IT support. This is important as well, because right now, because you can see that the period of globalization, everyone can just like see the business case from all around the world, and they can see that, okay, how the IT support in other companies or in other countries do, and they expect to have the same thing. A search in internet-based commerce, okay, or e-commerce or m-commerce as well, that makes the thing change, and a global business environment that is dynamic and also excuse me, and also incredibly challenging. So this is the future. Okay, when we have to do the strategic planning, you have to think of these factors. Okay, and also you have to think of the tools that you may be able to use, like SWOT analysis as well. Actually, we have like more tools than that. Okay, if you are interested in the advanced idea, you may just like ask me later outside the class. Okay, that okay for the trends of like system analysis and design and interaction design. What is it right now? Something like that. What is the current or like upcoming trend? Because we may just like study from like many research papers about that. The next thing, okay, when we talk about the strategic planning already, we talk about the term business case. So where can we find the business case? Normally, you may just like, if you Google lot of business case, okay, what is it? Normally, it is just like the written document, okay, and it's comprehensive, yet easy to understand. When you read, you see what's going on with that organization or with that department. And when we have the business case, okay, it should describe the project clearly. Also, the business case should provide justification to proceed, what they did, what they are planning to do, and also they may estimate project financial impact. because normally when they talk about business case, they talk about the cost, they talk about profit, they talk about the budget that they have to plan for it as well. Okay. So when we refer to the term business case, it should be like that. What are main reasons for system projects? Why does the company need to have an information system or set up the information system project? These are main reasons. Okay. If they would like to have the improved service, for example, the old system was like paper-based. When the customer made a phone call, they have to open up the booklet and see the information of that customer, and then they find out like the solution for that customer. So it might waste a lot of time, and customer complain a lot because they have to wait in the phone call for a long time. So if the company would like to have the improved service, they may need to have the information system, and then there comes for the information system project must be set up. Next, better performance. Right now, the company may have like good performance already, but they want to have better one. For example, in the past, as I gave you the example of like the Oasis system, the system that came before Sky, it was good. Okay, everybody was okay with it, but we would like to have better performance of the system. Now we have the Sky system instead, and it's better than the Oasis one. Then we needed to set up the system project, okay, to get like an information system that was better than Oasis system for help us students and other stakeholders to register. Okay. Next one, support for new products and services. Okay, if the company would like to have the support for new products or services, like for example, in the past we had just like e-commerce website only, and right now we say that okay, we know that the trends of people who carry laptop computer is less and less, and also many companies allow the allow their staff to bring their own device. Sometimes the staff may bring their iPad or tablet or just the smartphone only. So this kind of thing, we need to sell our products to these people as well. So we may have to think of the information system that can be just like the m-commerce website instead, to just like have the mobile e-commerce for these customers. Or if we would like to have more information, because the old system or the legacy system doesn't have enough information, or the information that we have is just collected as the records in the database only. It's difficult for us to analyze. Then you may need to have like the information system for data warehouse, or we would like to have data analytics as well. So that is the need for the company to have the information system project to develop that kind of data warehouse or data analytics tools. The next, we want to have stronger controls. For example, suppose we say that, okay, this is one good example. In the past, okay, in MUIC, if the students would like to print any work on the printers, we had the printers for you in the computer lab. The things that you had to do is that you just like we put papers around the computers, and you know what happened was, at the end of the day, every computer lab was so messy and was so dirty because students printed a lot of work, and if the printing is not good, they just throw it away around those printers without keeping it back. So that's why we just like have stronger controls by having a network printer system, and then each student has a quota of printing instead. Now we can control, and you can see that right now we have less printing documents. We just try to have just like the digital base instead. And the last one, because we may want to reduce costs, some kind of task or process, we had to spend a lot of money. For example, suppose we say that, okay, we would like to launch a new product. And in the past, we had to print the booklet handbook for customers, and it cost a lot of money, not just printing cost, but also the delivery cost, because I mean, when you deliver, if it was a software, okay, let's think of a software. In the past, when you wanted to buy a software, you had to go to IT store, and then once you bought a software like Microsoft Office, let's say 10 years ago, what happened was, in the last 10 years, they came with DVD, they came with the certificate or license, and also manual. Actually, it's the installation manual. It's not the manual for a program inside. So the problem was that you had to print and deliver from Singapore. That cost a lot of money. But right now, you can see that we don't need to go to IT store anymore. You can buy the software online and download it online. All the documents are on the internet. You can just download it, okay, if you would like to have. The license is also on the internet as well. This one can reduce a lot of cost. So these are like major reasons why organizations need to have the system project. So these are like information system projects deal with who? We have internal factors and external factors. Let's see the internal factors first. Information system project, okay, might be affected by these things. First one, strategic plan. Because normally when we do or when we develop information system, it should follow the strategic plan that the company should have. For example, the case study, mini case that I asked you to read on last class, for anyone who did Mama's Hotel, okay, and for anyone who didn't do the Mama's Hotel, but you listen to what your classmates talk about this case, a company took over or bought Mama's Hotel, that is a local hotel, okay, and then they have a decision, they have to make a decision what kind of information system that they should use, the local one or the central one from the the main company. So if the strategic plan of the main company who bought Mama's Hotel said that every single hotel that we bought must use our information system, so that is the must. You have to use the information system according to what strategic plan of the headquarters say. So the next one, top managers, okay, can affect the information system project as well, because if they said no, it means no, you can't just like still going on and doing that or developing that information system. Users request, they may want this, they may want that, so it just like make our information system project to be adjusted. Okay, information technology department, sometimes the project is in the queue, and if the information technology department has to develop by themselves, okay, if the queue is put to 2 years after this, okay, the first one, users might not be okay because it's too late to have. They can't wait for a long time. Or if IT department puts this project away for the next 2 years after this, the technology might be changed already. The users may not want this kind of information system anymore. So this one, information technology department may affect the information system project as well. Next, existing systems and data. This kind of factors, okay, the existing system and data will tell us that what should we do with the new system that we are going to develop and design. Okay, because you say that, okay, some of the system, okay, the legacy system might be on and run together with the new system in parallel. While some of the system, you say that, no, I want to migrate all of the data from, and also customers' information from the legacy system to the new system first before you can start working or before you start launching the new system. So these are the internal factors for our information system project. While external factors, they are like technologies that can be changed, okay, suppliers, customers, competitors, the economy, and the government. For example, okay, let me talk about the government. If, okay, currently, you can see that the VAT rate, okay, or the value-added tax rate is the tax that you have to pay whenever you buy any product. For example, if you go to 7-Eleven and buy a bar of chocolate, then you have to pay the VAT or VAT on your purchase as well. But you can see that for those products, okay, VAT is included in the price already. So that's why if they say that one bar of chocolate costs you 100 baht, 100 baht in 7-Eleven, they include the VAT for you already. But for, I mean, like, you know, because in the past, Thailand, we did like this when I think before you were born, when we had the VAT for the very first year, most of the companies, they just like give you or show you the price, okay, before VAT. For example, if a bar of chocolate, they want to sell you, they say that, okay, bar of chocolate is 100 baht. But when you really have to pay, you pay 100 baht plus tax. And many customers say that, no, it's not okay for us, because sometimes when you want to buy anything and you see the tax, the price tag, 100 baht, we think that it's 100 baht. We don't prepare our money for paying all the tax. Okay, and especially in the past, the only way that normal people, especially for students, could pay was by cash only, because we didn't have credit card for the students at the time. We didn't have, I mean, like, for ATM card we had, but I mean, like, you couldn't pay by ATM card. You had to go to ATM machine and withdraw the money first and pay by cash. So that means people waste a lot of time if they would like to buy something and their money were not enough. Okay. So now, class, can you tell me how many percent for VAT or VAT do we have in Thailand? Somebody, can you tell me?
7%.
Napat, sorry, how many percent?
7%.
Yeah, that's correct. Currently, it's 7%. But anyway, the government, they try to change the tax rate, because they say that, okay, we have used 7% for more than 20 years already. So they plan to change maybe 8% or 10%. So what happened? If the government say that the tax or VAT rate is changed, okay, all of the information systems that deal with the money, okay, I mean the business that sells the products or services, they have to modify their information system to match with the new VAT rate of the government. This is the example of the impact of like external factors that you can't control, because it's just like the government policy, something like that. So anyway, when we have information system development, we must have information system projects. Okay, we call it as information system project. Okay, for developing an information system. And when we have information system project, okay, you need to have project management. Okay, let me explain to you first. When do we call a thing as project. Okay, when do we have to call it as project or not? For example, okay, let me just use my iPad a bit. Okay, this won't be long. Okay, if we say that, okay, we would like to build a house. To build a house, this is project. Okay. If we say that renovate as that too, this is a project. If we say that, okay, we talk about what to say, study math. This is not a project. If we say that, okay, what else? Write a program to control robot or planting. This is a project too. Okay. Taking shower is not a project. So these are examples of which task is a project or which task is not a project. Okay. So in this one, can somebody tell me, what do you think? What is the project in your point of view? Can somebody give me some ideas? Juan Kamon said that something with large scale.
For me, I think project is anything that we have to plan before we try to make a decision.
Yep. Anything that we plan before we try to do to make a decision. Okay.
Anything with the plan and the final result.
Anything with a plan and with final result. Yes. Somebody said sellable. Somebody said sellable, right? Atiwat said sellable. Can you explain a bit? Atiwat?
I was just thinking that maybe it might, the difference between the two is that one, if you have to project, it might have to be use some kind of benefit. So in this case, in business case, it would have to be sellable or have to make profit. If you look at it from a business perspective.
Sometimes, like if you say that you want to renovate a statue, like you want to just like renovate the Statue of Liberty, you don't want it to be sold, right? Sometimes it's just renovating or maintaining the thing, and that can be a project too. So for sellable, it might not be the point that tell us whether it's a project or not. Okay. For example, if I say that I sell mobile phone, okay, I buy mobile phone to sell to resell to other people, it is not project. Juan Kamon said something large scale that involve other people as well. This one, okay, project doesn't need to be large scale. Even it's personal stuff, it can be the project as well. For example, if you say that, okay, after you graduate from MUIC, you plan to to enter to let's say you plan to enter MIT. Okay, so you just like read lots of books, prepare some tests. That can be project too, and you can see that it's just like involved with one person only, that is you, and a little a few numbers of people like your parents, okay, and some tutors, just that. It doesn't need to be large scale. It can be, but it doesn't need to be. Okay. Napat said something with a plan and final result. Yes, this is good. Plan and final result is important for the project. Okay. And also, it can be sellable or it might not be sellable. A project can be both, large or small. Okay, large or small can be project too. But anyway, the project actually is a kind of thing or activities that we do in order to accomplish a goal with the with the plan, with the final result, and the important thing for the project. You need to have specific time. You need to have start and end date, because if you say that this is project but you don't have the end date, it will become routine work of the project. Okay. So that's why when we have the project, one thing that you have to do is that, okay, how do we gonna manage it? In this case, we talk about like the information system development project. Okay, so we must have, this is a must. We must have the management, project management. If project is approved, it can be planned, scheduled, monitored, controlled, and reported. Okay, so these are the tasks, main tasks that you have to do for the project management thing. Okay. Do it upon what? Might be like individual analysts or IT staff members. These group of people often handle small projects, but the company usually designate a project manager to coordinate the overall effort for complex projects. So that means if you have system analysts, you have programmer to do the same project. So I can tell you that just these people, the project cannot be done, because if system analyst does his or her own just like task management, but it's not the project. He or she may finish his or her task according to what he or she wants on his or her time that he or she limits. But I mean, like if that system analyst sends the request or the requirements to the programmer so late, the programmer's task will be delayed. So that's why we need to have a person that we call project manager to control over every single piece of task inside the project. Okay, that means project manager might allocate the group of tasks for each person, and the project manager will control the time, okay, and the results, whether what they what he or she assigned to each system analyst can be done on time or not. If it's not on time, what should we do in order to just like make the whole project to still finish on time? Because you can see that each task is done by one person, it is possible to be delayed. But for the whole project, if it's delayed, what will happen? If it's delayed, you may have to pay for the fine, because normally in the contract, they have like the fine part that, okay, if the project is not finished on time, how much does the team, I mean, or the company whose team works for has to pay for the fine. For example, they may say that, okay, 100,000 baht per day if you can't finish something like that. So that's why we need to have the project manager to help controlling. Okay, at the day that the project should be finished, it shouldn't be delayed. Or if it has to be really delayed, for example, you have to go to interview with your customers. But actually, you can see that in this year for the COVID-19 situation, at one period of time, some months ago, okay, let's say around like April, May, and June, many companies like has to just like stop their operation. So you can't just like go to meet with the users or customers at that point of time. So it might make the whole project to be delayed because you don't have input to do on the next step, something like that. Okay. So that's why we need to have project management. And if it has been delayed or it must be postponed, okay, what is the solution for the project manager? He or she must have it as well. After that, when we just like have the project management, what else that we have to know? Every time that you have to set up the project, information system project, I mean, to just like develop information systems, to just like upgrade the information system or do whatever. Normally we come to have the system request. System requests normally they come from the users of the company or the management of the company. They need to have like new system. They need to have upgrading of the old system or whatever thing that they request. These are what we call system requests. Not every system request that we will accept, because sometimes we say that, okay, they said, oh, our website color is not nice. Can you change from blue to pink on every pages? This can be called as the information system project too, but it's too small, you know. In this one, you may just like assign one person to do in a specific period of time. And also, it might not be just like the first priority. So that's why you have to know that, okay, anytime we have system requests, which one must be prioritized first? Then we need to have evaluation of system requests. Who can evaluate the system request, what to do first, okay, or what to do, or what is just like some nice to have features. Normally, each organization must have system review committee, okay, or computer resources committee. Okay, so it depends on the company. Some company may just like use their CEO only to make a decision. Sometimes some organization, the CEO doesn't know anything much about IT. They may have to, he or she may have to just like ask the IT manager, IT director, or he or she may have to ask CIO to help, being the system review committee as well, to help evaluating the information system request. And what is the system request form? Okay. So normally we need to have a form to help, okay, for streamline the request process, and also to ensure consistency. Okay, for example, okay, let's see the easiest one, the thing that we see the request. If you have any problems about your computers or internet facilities, okay, when you are student or when you are staff in university, we have to go to the IT department website, and then we just like go to fill up the form. What's the problem? and how can they contact you, something like that. That is the easiest kind of form. But for the system request form, okay, they may have just like a piece of paper, or it might be like the online form as well. You have to fill up what's going on, what do you want, and what is the priority of this task. It might be just like highest priority, just the regular priority, or low priority, something like that. So because it will help streamline the request process, and also it ensures the consistency as well. So that's why it should be a kind of form. While some company, they say that, okay, they allow like their staff to send an email, okay, as a system request. This one, okay, is difficult, you know. Whenever you have to design the system for like letting an organization to have system requests, you should let them have just like the form, because it will be easy for everyone to read and understand. Because if they write as a free form in the email, it's so difficult. And occasionally, a situation will arise that requires an immediate response. So you have to know that, okay, so that's why you may need to have a box to tick with a, like high priority, something like that. If it is a high priority, for example, in Sky system, they have as well. When I just like have an announcement on Sky, I can put the priority level. If it's a high priority, it shows in one color. So that means when you log in into Sky system, it always shows that if one is urgent or high priority or not, so that student can see. Okay. So this is like the first thing that you have to know, the basic information for the system request. On next class, I will talk about the system review committee as a part of the group of people who evaluate system requests and do and just like give you more lectures about this. Okay, then up to this point, do you have any questions, everyone? If you don't have any question, everyone, could you turn on your camera, please, so that I can just like see your beautiful and handsome faces. Catherine, Taspia. Okay, Taspia, are you here? Kantinan too, I don't see you yet. Taspia, are you here?
Give me a minute, sir.
Okay, I can wait. Paramat, Chayathon, and Sahasawat as well. Please turn on your camera for me. Paramat, Sahasawat, and Chayathon, please. Okay. Okay, then I see most of you already except Garamat and Chayathon. Okay, I think they may have a problem with the webcam. Okay, so before we finish the class today, okay, can I see Pai, Rin, Tam before we finish the class? Okay, Pai, Rin, and Tam, please be with me first. Okay. And for the rest of you, do you have any questions? Oh, Grit, are you in the restaurant? Wow, that's good. I'm so envy. And Rin Pon, Rin, right now, are you at the beach? No, I'm just kidding, I know. And also another one that is just like, I'm jealous of you, that is Warakop. You are on the bed. Right? Okay, anyway, everyone, if you don't have any questions, okay, just like stay safe and take care. Okay, we see each other again on next Tuesday. Okay, we see each other again on next Tuesday. Okay, everyone, you have a nice day. Okay, bye bye for now. Have a nice day. Bye. Bye, Rin and Tam, be with me first. Okay, I'll just like take 1 or at most 2 minutes with you guys. Bye, Rin and Tam. I'm just wondering for your batch, because Pi is 598, right? Pi is 598. Rin is 608. Rin and Tam, you are 608, right?
Yes.
So I'm just curious, when you take this course, it's ICCS271, Interaction Design, right?
Yeah.
Does this course be a course in your curriculum, or it becomes your elective? I'm just curious.
It's required.
Required.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Hang on. Let me just change my speaker a bit, because it's just like
It's required.
Okay, now it's the sound is back. So what type of the subject is this? Is it the free elective, or I mean, I don't
It is required, done.
Is it, Sam, is it required for you?
Yes,
yeah,
it
it's
is.
required for me as well.
So if it's required, please check. I'm not sure, because I see in the class list, it is in ICCS 271. Okay.
It's 230.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for you, it's 230, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good, because I'm afraid that if it's a wrong course, at the end of the course, you don't get the you don't fulfill your required. But if it's 230, that's fine, no problem at all. Okay. Okay, I'm okay.
But I have another question regarding internship.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rin, go ahead.
So like we're done and stuff. So when do we get a grade?
I will just appoint all of you to just have to conduct a short presentation for me. Okay.
And how about the logbook done?
The logbook, when you finish, please send it to me through email. Send you through email.
Okay.
Okay. While you are preparing the presentation, I'll contact your mentor for like filling up the evaluation form. And after we meet each other, when we meet each other for presentation, normally I might appoint you on one Saturday, okay. For around like 1 or 2 hours, so that you have like have presentation with like other students. If you go to the same place, if you went to the same place, okay, you just like present the basic profile of the company together. But after that, you separate what you did.
Okay, and when is this presentation going to be?
I'll announce on our line group. Actually, I plan to have it around like the end of week 4 or week 5.
Yeah. Okay.
So can you please like announce 1 week earlier before that?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so we can prepare.
Sure. Yeah. Yes, because I want you to prepare. Sure, I'll let you know. I might announce it next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't forget, for anyone who haven't submitted the internship log, do submit it on email, please. Not
okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Everyone, have a nice day. Bye bye.
Thank you.